Brian here. Silly reviews, lots of options for the title of this video. It was going to be the FLSTOR iPhone battery review, then it was going to be the iPhone 6S battery replacement in 5 minutes. But now it's, who do you think broke my iPhone? Was it me or the technician? Let's talk about it. This is the battery that I bought to replace the dying, failing battery in my iPhone 6S. Yes, this is nearly, for all intents and purposes, a phone that is almost 10 years old. I've replaced the battery several times already. Now we're going to go ahead. I need to drop that battery life down. It's reading 100%, and for a safe replacement, you're supposed to run that battery pretty low or all the way down if you can. So while I'm getting things ready, showing you the little tools that come with the FLSTOR battery, cheap little tools, but they do get the job done, except for that suction cup is always whack that comes with these kits. And that I don't know what part that is. If somebody can tell me what that is. This is the adhesive that goes under the battery. That'll be sufficient. What else do you have down here? Knickknacks, hooly-hoos. Now, I've got my buddy Mike going on in the background there, you can see. As we look at these instructions, and they're simple enough, clear enough. They'll lead you online as well to a video you can watch to kind of help you out. But all the information's there if you take your time. Now, I will tell you, while we're killing a little time, as I kill this battery in the background with a full screen, maximum brightness, YouTube streaming off of wireless mobile data to drain that battery, get this fresh puppy in that FLSTOR, link in the description. Mike back there, he is a reseller, a flipper, if you will, primarily on eBay, and he seems to be having success, which makes me really happy. He's having success not only with his business and selling stuff, but success with his YouTube channel, sharing his tips, tricks, experiences. That link will be in the description as well. We're in for $15.99 here. It comes with everything you need. If you want to bop this part out, there's the battery. That's what it looks like. If you have any experience changing batteries on your iPhone or any phone and you get an aftermarket battery, of course it's made in China. That connection looks like what we need. Should be simple enough. Newer phones, this is much more different, but if you notice that 3800 milliamp hours, or however you pronounce that, it's so funny because every different battery you buy for the phone is going to have a different battery rating on there, which is funny, but they're all about the same. This battery magically just wants to keep going. It's been playing for a very long time, but I've got all the tools ready. I wish I had a magnetic tray. If I had a magnetic tray, that would be better. And I'm kind of deciding how I'm going to keep track of all these little screws. I've done this. I've attempted to do this before. But I've brought it either into a shop to really get it done, or guess what? That technician I mentioned earlier, that's going to be my little brother. And he boo-bopped the last battery in here. And that was part of that question of who broke this phone. And we'll talk about that when we get there. Kind of interesting. So I found this video online that shows me how to replace the battery. And man, it went fast. This video here, and that comment kind of represents what I'm about to say, which is, holy cow. You can change the battery out on an iPhone 6S in like 3 minutes. Seriously. I've already started taking it apart a little bit. There were 2 screws at the bottom. Hope I don't lose them. Got the suction cup ready. You have to break the seal. Go around there. Now look, same exact size battery from the last replacement. That one's a Vinpone. Only says 2750. But they're all the same exact size. And the way you can change this battery out so quickly is, if you don't bend this top screen cover back beyond like 90 degrees, you can do this replacement so quickly. It's incredible. Now I've switched up how I'm going to maintain keep an eye on the screws. Now I'm using that box with an ink pen and some notes. Yeah, this is very high tech, right? The instructions from this directfix.com YouTube video, super helpful. And if you trust yourself not to break the phone, and that question will come up in a minute, who broke it? But you can do this with like only taking out 4 screws total, and just don't bend that case all the way back. So if you look here, these batteries are held down by the adhesive, and the adhesive is supposed to have pull tabs that pop out at the bottom of it, but I don't see them. And at the top, I can kind of see the end of just one piece of adhesive, which is great because it should make pulling this phone out a little bit easier. But I didn't have the pull tabs where you're supposed to just pull straight out, keep pulling, it gets thinner, 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 and releases. That wasn't the case here. So now I have to start prying, and that's the scariest part. Besides breaking your phone, the scariest part to me is bending up that battery, because these things can put on a light show, and a light show of fire, a chemical fire, if you pierce them. Thankfully, with only one piece of the adhesive being on the left side of this battery, I was able to pry it up pretty easily. Now take notice of the location of where this adhesive is. So unfortunately, it was installed incorrectly. And I don't know the technical terms for all these little wires and stuff like that, but for the volume up and down and for the lock button or the silent vibrate switch, you see that black kind of tape? That's little sensitive wires. This adhesive should not have been on top of that. So as I pried the battery up, it broke that connection. It broke that connection to my volume up and down. So I can no longer use volume up and down on the physical buttons. I have to use it either on the earbuds that are plugged in, the Bluetooth headphones, or slide up on the screen and adjust it that way. The phone is still usable, but that stinks. If that tape wasn't like that, I wouldn't have had this issue. And of course, something always has to go wrong because things were going so smoothly. This was really working, and I was proud of myself. And then I broke something kind of critical on the phone. But look at these two batteries, same exact size, yet one of them has like 30% more juice, or so they say. Well, that's not true. But what you hope is you connect the battery, nothing starts smoking, your screen powers on correctly, it charges, it reads the proper battery life. And you see now we've got the FLSTOR battery in, and this would have been so exciting had not that strip with the wires had been pulled up by that adhesive when removing the previous battery. That's a bummer. But now I want to buy more iPhone 6s, even though I have a relatively new iPhone now, because of how easy this is. But wait a minute, of course something else goes wrong. So now I can't get it to close, and I'm afraid I'm going to break the screen. I guess maybe just the body of this phone, because it's so old and it's been opened so many times. Not everything is lining up correctly anymore. But that's okay, because you'll find out as we proceed. The one corner that won't go down, I'm just going to say F it, because the screws will still go in. And we're just going to rock it like this because I have an Otterbox Defender case to go over it. And I also have the new iPhone, so if I need to switch up my daily, fine, but I would like to keep this as my daily, keep the newer iPhone basically as my camera and video editing for silly reviews. So that's about as good as we're going to get it, and I'm just going to smash that Defender case over it. So what? I've probably lost, any of the water resistance anyway, because that adhesive that goes around it is so busted up because it's been opened so many times. But guess what? If you're scared to make a decision on which battery to get for your phone to replace it for the 6S, this FLSTOR battery, it works fine. I'm commentating on this video a month after I did this, and it works great. So it's going to be 2 thumbs up for the battery, but leave a comment. Who's responsible for what broke on the phone?